I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call to quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Shit on my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. Down, wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know this because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem, man. Perfect, let them watch me. Elevating, got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the option. Woo! Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Woo!
It's time! Welcome to DFS by the Numbers with your host, Brady.
Better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers and welcome to Best Bet for UFC Vegas 71. We have Curtis Blaydes going against Sergei Pavlovich. We have 11 fights on this card. Really looking forward to this and really looking forward to seeing what Gordo and Johnny have to say for this one. We're kicking to Gordo first. Gordo, what is up? You looking forward to UFC Vegas 71?
You know what? I am. It's another week we have fights. I am kind of disappointed we got a couple of those cancellations, but what can you do? We're here to watch the scraps we have in front of us, and that main event is just one that I'm absolutely pumped for. Couldn't tell you a good breakdown on it, but I can tell I'm excited, and it's going to be chaos, and that's all you can ask for.
Cannot wait for that main event. We got Johnny in the building. Johnny, what is up? You looking forward to UFC Vegas 71?
Yeah, like Gordo said, same thing. I'm kind of sad a little bit that Simone and Song got moved over, but that card is just awful. It needed a lot of help. So if you guys looked into that card, you might want to wait a little bit because you might get let down a little bit. But yeah, this card looks pretty fun still. Couple good fights that I'm looking forward to on the main card actually. So, and of course the main event. So yeah, I'm ready.
Sounds good. We're about to get into it. Before we do so, if you guys can please leave a like on the video, subscribe here to the channel if you have not already. Go live every Saturday for some best bet with a different panel each week. I also did link down in the description Gordo's YouTube channel, Plays and Fades, and then also Johnny's YouTube channel, Johnny K Picks, that is down in the description. Also down in the description, if you're new here, we have the best bet rules for 2023, 6 rules there, and then we also have the standings. And by the way, got to shout out Betya last week for going out there and hitting a 20-1 Yam bag point deduction prop in the Ed Herman fight. So Lou went from like plus 15 units to plus like 34 units. So Lou's sitting at plus 34.39 units, 4 cards in. Next best is myself at 7.98. So we all have a ton of catching up to do, and it all starts today. Betya, if you're hearing this, we are coming for you, and we are coming hot. Before we start and get into it, do want to shout out the chat before we get started. We got Buff on the beat. First one in here. What is up, Buffo? MMA Goulash. We got Herc in the chat. Victor. We got Bill. We got Nathan. We got our guy Betya in the chat as well. We got Jack in here. We got Propaholic, Rex Lee, Ty the guy. We got CA. What is up? The money liner. We got Jenna Marie in here as well. What is up, everybody? Amsterdam, I see you. Sean V in the chat. What is up, everybody? Don't forget to hit that like button. Do appreciate that a lot. But I say we get into it, and correct me if I'm wrong. We have 11 fights, right, guys?
Yes.
11 fights. So these guys will each get only 1 pass on the card. So not a ton of passes this week. But we're going to kick it off with the first fight on the night. We have Dena Bakary going against Brady Heastan. We got Dena Bakary sitting at minus 140. Brady Heastan sitting at plus 120. It looks like some money has been coming in on Brady throughout the week. I remember last week is like plus 200, something like that, plus 190. So now a tightened up line here. We'll start with you, Gordo. What are you liking for the first fight of the card?
Yeah, and this is a spot where I didn't have the balls to play it directly, but we're on a show, we can play it hypothetically. But I'm taking Bakary Dena as my play here. I do think he is somebody who's been working on that takedown defense, and he's going to have the complete advantage on the feet to exploit the striking defense of someone like Brady Heastan. So when you're giving me minus 140, I see so much love for it, and I get it. And there's just that question mark of having that ground game that we don't know if there's holes in it. We don't know how it's looking. But if you're training over there at Fight Ready, you're getting ready for it. if you're able to shore that up and you have such an advantage on the feet, I think minus 140 is a bit short. So give me Batgary Dena to be my first play of the day.
You want the money line, right?
Money line, minus 140.
Got you. Batgary money line, minus 140. Johnny, what do you like here for the first fight of the card?
I'm also on Dena here. I was a little like hesitant at first during the week, and then I found out later on that he's at fight ready, so that gave me a little bit more confidence in this pick. So I'm gonna go with him to win by knockout. Brady's been, he's been knocked down a couple times here and there. Doesn't really have the greatest striking defense on the feet. I know he's gonna want to try to get this fight to the mat, but since Dena's at fight ready, I think he's gonna have a good game plan. So I think he'll stuff the takedowns early and get the knockout. So give me knockout. I think it's at plus 140.
Yep, I'll give you plus 150 on that one there. So
Great.
Yep.
Need anything I can get to catch up to Lou.
I know, right? We got Gordo with the Dena Batgary money line, and then we have Johnny with the Dena Batgary KO plus 150 there. We got Uncle Weezy. We got Uncle Weezy in the chat. What is up, Uncle Weezy? How are you doing? Best of luck for you today. We got Buffalo saying, Brady, make sure you say Lucindo's name right for Steve. Trust me, Buffalo, I've been practicing it all day. I'm ready for that one. What is up, everybody? Is Dena a good parlay piece? If you like Dena, you probably just play him straight at minus 140. I think he's at a fine now if you do like him there. Probaholic saying Dena's power will be too much with the improved work on the takedown defense. Yeah, we'll definitely see. And then Jan saying, I have Dena Batgary in the first round, plus 361. There you go. What is up, MMA? Jesus, how you doing? All right, guys, let's keep moving on. We have the next fight on the card. Francis Marshall going against William Gomez. We have Francis Marshall minus 193, William Gomez plus 168. Johnny, let us start with you. What are you liking for this fight here?
I'm going to say Marshall wins this one, but I think this is going to be a fairly close fight. Both guys are pretty well rounded on the feet and on the mat, but I would give Marshall just a slight edge in wrestling, and I think he's just a little bit more cleaner with his strikes. So I'm going to go with Marshall to either win in the rounds 3 or decision at plus 120. I'm going to say he does get that decision win though, but now at the weigh-ins, Gomez, he wasn't looking that great. He got to go and try to cut that extra pound. So maybe in a third round, he starts to gas a little bit and Marshall can get the finish. So that's why I'm going a little bit safer with that one.
All right. We got Johnny taking the Marshall round 3 or decision plus 120. Gordo, what are you liking for this fight here?
It's fire Marshall season, and I really put my flag down on this one. I was ready to go. I had a bigger bet on Marshall minus 175. I'm like, yeah, I beat the line movement. A lot of love coming in for Gomez recently, and I understand it's a close fight, but I do think Marshall has the edge in a lot of areas here. I think he's going to be the more aggressive striker. I do really like his boxing, his head movement. And then if Gomez wants to try to wrestle a little, I do think Marshall's going to be the better wrestler there and the better grappler. So I'm just taking him on the money line. Minus 75 there. I'm okay with minus 193, whatever you like. I'm taking it straight up. I'm playing it safe. I think he has multiple paths of victory to get it done here. Then I got all my eggs in one basket for Francis Marshall this week.
All right. Yeah, we'll give you a minus 175 there on Bet365 for Marshall Moneyline. All right. So you guys are saying in the chat here, MMA Jesus on Gomez. Fight goes the distance. Minus 116 is tempting for this fight. Yeah, I think it could, but it could be a little bit of a sweat. Boy saying it's Jasmine. She's a white flower. I cannot wait to talk about that fight. Francis, I rode a limo to prom. Marshall by decision. There you go. Francis by finish, probably a submission, and then Probaholic with the same game parlay over 1.5 with Marshall money line plus 115. I like that quite a bit. I think it's a great way to get that line down. All right, so we'll move on to the next fight. We have the people's main event. We have Junior Taffa going against Muhammad Usman. Pretty crazy line movement on this one. I was talking with Uncle Weezy on Sunday, and we were talking about the money line of Muhammad Usman, and I swear, like in the span of like 20 minutes, it went from like plus 200 Muhammad Usman to minus 110 Muhammad Usman, and it's been there all week at a pick'em here. So I'm curious to hear your guys' take on this fight. I personally think it's a complete mess of a fight, but I hear a lot of strong takes out there. We'll start with you, Gordo. What are you liking for the Junior Taffa Muhammad Usman fight?
Yeah, no strong take from me. This is one that I actually had written down as a pass when we had 12 fights, but now I got to play a bet on it, right? Because we only have 11, and I have to save my pass for something else. So I do go with something a little bit riskier, and one that I'm not too proud of. But I got to catch up to Lou. I got to get some plus money in here. So we're taking the over, which is not something that I'm seeing a lot of people on. But for me, I just see a sloppy heavyweight fight. I think both guys have a lot of improving to do. And although they can be hit, I think that this is one that Muhammad Usman could maybe take in his wrestling. He could maybe extend it, and we don't know what they're going to be like after that first round. So I'm debating between the fight goes or the over 1.5. I'll try to catch Lou, and I'll take the fight goes to decision at plus 260.
There you go.
A fight goes to decision at plus 260. There you go. Big plus odds there. Johnny, what are you liking in this fight here?
Yeah, I'm not liking a lot. I'll tell you that. Both these guys are unproven, if you want to say. I would say Taffa has a little bit crisper striking, but Usman's a little bit more of a wild card, a little wild guy. So I'm going to say Taffa wins. I'm going to say he wins by knockout for my pick here at plus 130. I think there's going to be a knockout eventually at one point. And I'm just going to pick Taffa to get at this just with his cleaner striking and kickboxing. I think he's going to land that shot.
All right. So we have Gordo with the fight goes to decision, big plus odds there. And we have Johnny with the Taffa knockout. Lou cashing the Brady wears a hat, minus 130. Cash that ticket, Lou. I like it. The triple hat parlay. That is true. We all three wearing hats. Didn't even notice that. Probaholic on the Taffa money line. Buffo saying Usman round 2-3 KO. If Usman gets him down when Taffa is gassed, it's a wrap. Yeah, I wonder what those late sprinkles are on Usman. Those could be interesting. Adam saying Usman by decision. Forrest saying Usman's overrated. He won't last long in the UFC. I got to completely disagree because everybody thinks he sucks. I don't think anybody's overrating Usman at all this week. I think everybody thinks he's terrible. So I don't know, but we'll see. It should be an interesting fight that I may or may not watch. The next fight we have Carol Rosa going against Norma Dumont. Another pick'em here. We have, I think, 3 pick'ems on this card, and another very, very tough fight to call, in my opinion. We have Carol Rosa minus 105, Norma Dumont minus 115. We'll start with you, Johnny. What are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, another close pick'em here, and I like Dumont a little bit more than Rosa here. I think just lately her striking's looked a little bit better. Dumont's been coming along. She has a little bit of power. She knocked down Danielle Wolf, I believe, maybe once or twice. She has a good wrestling, grappling. It's hard to take her down too as well. We all know why. And so I think this will go to decision one way or another. And I do think the judges are going to be so confused on who won what round, and it's going to go to a split decision one way or another. So I'm going to go with the split here at plus 350 for either one to win. So that's what I got.
Yep, I think that's a really good look, and that is what I'd be taking as well. And I know Lou would be taking that same thing as well. Gordo, what are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, I feel similar towards it, but if I'm looking at from this, I'm going to pick a side here, and I'm going to, again, a show where I don't have any money on it. It's hypothetical. I'm going to take Carol Rosa here in a fight where I think she is going to have more volume. I think she's going to have the opportunity to mix in wrestling the same way that Dumont is, but I have the thoughts that she's able to win a very, very close fight here. In my opinion, it's optics here, and although Dumont may be the moment winner, I think Rosa may be the minute winner with her volume, with her pressure, and I do think she's able to get it done. Better DraftKings option, in my opinion, too.
You want the money line for?
Yes, please.
All right, plus 100 for Carol Rosa, the money line for Gordo, and then Johnny's taking that split decision, which I really like this week. Amsterdam saying big Norm. We're all saying big or thick thighs Norma. There you go. Jack saying I like Norma, better Peach, but I think Rosa wins. There you go. Probaholic saying Dumont round 2 KO plus 4,200, round 3 KO plus 5,000. The power will be infected in the late rounds. Goodness, those are crazy odds there. Probably good. Best luck on those. Norma is nice, like a 6 on the scale, 10 being Agapova. There you go. Everyone is biased on Dumont because she's hot. I can see right through y'all's picks. I don't know if people are picking her for that reason. Maybe they are. I don't know. Is Rosa a good play on DFS? She scores a ton and wins, but still pretty scores well, even if she loses. Yeah, I like Rosa quite a bit. Gord, do you want to touch on that a little bit more? I think you were talking about Rosa on the show Wednesday, right? Or was that someone else?
No, I was. And for me, in a fight that's anticipated to go the distance, and she is able to average as many strikes as she does, she seems to be a fighter not only with a pretty good ceiling with her volume, but a really high floor as well. And that's what you're looking for here in a fight that's going the distance. I think she has the ability to put up 100-point wins with that volume. And in a fight where Dumont's going to be landing probably the more powerful shots, she's going to need to get off on her volume in order to win this fight. So I think her win condition does score decent.
Yeah, and definitely more so on the Rosa side from a DraftKings perspective. Agapova a 10? I don't think so. Lou saying she's a 10 for me. When you're in your 40s, you understand. Fair enough. Maybe I'll understand that in 15 years or so. The worry for Rosa is that she was dominated by McMahon on the ground. Dumont with the size difference to bully her way to a decision. Yeah, I don't really have a strong take on this fight myself. I don't have any bet on this one besides the over. I think the over is a solid parlay piece, but we're not catching Lou with an over here.
No.
All right, we will move on to the next fight. We have Montel Jackson going against Ronnie Yaya. Montel Jackson, the biggest favorite on the card, minus 600. Ronnie Yaya sitting at plus 450. Really curious to hear you guys' thoughts on this one. We'll start with you, Johnny. What do you like for this fight here?
I mean, I think Jackson will win, but he doesn't really impress me too much. Like, he does knock down a lot of people, which is awesome, but he just doesn't finish them. And he has good wrestling. He's going to have the reach advantage. But Yaya is one of those guys where he's tough, he's durable, he's going to want to go for takedowns. He hasn't been finished in the UFC, I don't believe. So I'm going to go a little, I don't want to say super crazy on this one, but I'm going to say fight to start round 3 is at plus 120. I think that happens. I think it's going to be a little more of a slower paced striking, you want to say striking fight here. If Yaya is going to try to go for the takedowns, but he's going to pick the right time, and Jackson can be low volume at times too. So I think this fight will go to round 3 at the very least, but Jackson should win, whether by decision or like maybe a late knockout when Yaya gasses.
You said plus 120 for that?
Yep.
Sounds good. Johnny, with the fight starts round 3 plus 120. Gordo, what are you liking for this fight here?
Johnny, let's settle on a round 3 finish. How about that? Because I'm taking the under.
Okay.
The fight doesn't go here. I'm taking it easy. This isn't going to help me catch Lou, but in a fight like this, when you have such a wide favorite, and I do see it being a bit more, let's say, violence oriented than other people, I'm just going to take the under. Minus 200 here. Fight doesn't go the distance. I think this is a spot here where Yaya's win condition is probably going to be to snatch up something. And although I think it's a very low probability outcome, I still think it's one that could happen. I'm not saying it happens all the time. It could happen. That's why I'm covering my bases here instead of playing the Jacksons at the distance. Most likely outcome, definitely Jackson's able to find his range, put some power into those punches, accumulate more knockdowns, which he seems to do all the time, and get Yaya out of there. If you want to do it in round 3 cash for both of us, I would love that very much.
Yeah, I can see that.
There we go. I like it. So you guys are saying in the chat, Probaholic on the under 2.5 with you there, Gordo. Amsterdam saying it just because Yaya by sub. Yeah, Yaya by sub is like plus 950, plus 1050. I think that's probably how he wins.
I mean, Jackson struggled against JP Buys, so who knows?
He did. It was a little bit too close in that first round, and he got got some opportunities there. Jackson inside the distance, minus 125. Young, that's a great line there because it looks like best price right now is like minus 155. So you got a good line there. Ronnie looks like he's sleep deprived construction worker. I can kind of see it there. Yaya to have the most body hair, minus 200. Is that in this fight or is that on the card? Because in this fight, I mean, that's a max bet. He clearly has more body hair than Ronnie Yaya. DFS, I heard Priscilla Cachoeira is your favorite fighter. One of my favorite fighters. I'd say probably top 3. I don't know if I'd say my absolute favorite fighter. Liang Na takes that spot for sure. Probaholic asking where you can get the hairy chest line. I don't know. Maybe on Bovada. We'll have to see. But we can move on to the next fight. I believe this is the last fight on these prelims. We have Ricky Glenn going against Christos Giagos. We have money coming in on Giagos, it looks like, throughout the week. Glenn now minus 160. Giagos is plus 140. We'll start with you, Johnny. What are you liking for this fight here?
I'm actually really high on Glenn here to win this fight. I'm not really too high on Christos at all here. I mean, he's a good wrestler. He fades and he can get chinned, and his striking's not that great. So I think Glenn, he might lose the first round, which is also could be a good live betting spot here too. But I think he eventually turns it up in rounds 2 and 3 when Christos starts gassing a bit, and he can either get the third round finish or a decision win. So I'm going to go with that. Glenn to win in round 3 or decision, and that's at plus 130.
Glenn around 3 decision plus 130. There we go. Gordo, what are you liking for the Glenn and Giagos fight?
You know what? I think I'm higher on Giagos than a lot of people this week. I think he's a viable DraftKings option with his path to victory, and I think he's someone who is going to put up a decent fight. I don't have the balls to do it. I'm using my pass here, and my one and only pass will be on this fight because I do think that although it's a close fight that I want to take the dog, no confidence really to do so.
Yep, nothing wrong with that. We have a question in here. It's tricky saying, what is everyone's taking on the Dumont fight? I was in the bathroom. For me, I just have the over 2.5 in a parlay, but we can go ahead and bring up what these guys have done thus far for the show. So we have Gordo, he is starting off the night with the Dena money line -140. He's taking the Marshall money line -175. He's taking the Taffa fight that goes to decision +260. He's taking the Carol Rosa money line +100. He's taking the Jackson fight doesn't do a decision -200, and then he is passing on the Glenn fight. Johnny is taking the Dena KO +150. Marshall round 3 decision +120. Taffa by KO +130. He's taken the Dumont fight to be a split decision +350. He's taken the Jackson fight starts round 3 +120, and then the Glenn to win in round 3 or decision +130. Johnny, is all that correct?
Yes.
And Gordo, is all that right?
All that is correct.
Sounds good. Charles saying, just bring your desktop computer into the bathroom. I don't know about that. Probaholic saying, Glenn money line, but no bet for me here. Yeah, I don't have a bet on it personally as well. I was kind of considering maybe those late props on Glenn, but didn't get there. Dad's on the Christos side. Giagos point spread +3.5. Depends on the line, because I think he could probably win the first round easily, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all depends on the line there, Buffa. If you can get a good line on it, I think that's probably solid.
If you think
Glenn
he can
Yep.
go to decision, that'd be a great bet, actually.
Yep, I'll have to take a look at that one, because I think he does have a really good chance to win that first, at least.
Yeah.
Glenn by unanimous decision, another great parlay piece. Victor taking that shot on that Glenn round 3 +1400. Amsterdam as well. Glenn round 2 or round 3. Book it. Beaver is boned up. There you go, Beaver. And then Oli saying has Dena Bakary's tape has been tested. I could see he stand wrestle effing him. He got tested in the Alatang Haley fight. I believe that was his debut. And then it also got tested a little bit against Kung Ho Kong ahead up there, but he hasn't really been tested in a while, I'd say. All right. Let's move on to the first fight on the main card. Before we do so, if you guys can please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, go subscribe to these guys. Their links are down below in the description. We have Jeremiah Wells going against Matt Semmelsberger, probably one of my favorite fights on the card, and this is our third pick'em of the night. We got Jeremiah Wells -109, Matt Semmelsberger -111. Gordo, what are you liking for this first fight on the main card?
This is a very, very fun one, and there's multiple ways I wanted to go away and attack this one from a betting perspective. And there's one bet that I was so close to making, on the tracked record, but we're going to use it here instead. I'm going to take Jeremiah Wells finish only at -160 on DraftKings. Actually, I need to confirm that's right, because I took that a while. I think I'm at -165 last I looked now. To me, Wells is just very, very explosive. I think he has the ability to submit if he wants to use his grappling, but he's got that power on the feet that is unlike no other. His ability to knock out Court McGee really impressed me last time. I think he's able to find some connections here against Semmelsberger, and at the end of the day, Semmelsberger probably is the better minute winner with his volume, and we haven't really seen that cardio of Wells tested too much. So if this does go to decision, I get my money back, nice refund. So give me finish only on Wells.
All right, Wells finish only -160, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay, -160 for the Wells finish only.
-165. I'll be fair. That's what it's
all right.
Yeah.
Thank you for being fair, Gordo. All right, Johnny, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, another close one. This was the hardest one to break down, actually, and because I could see both guys having their path to victory one way or another. But for the pick here, I'm going to go with Wells inside the distance at +150. He does have very good grappling. We just haven't really seen it too much except the Blood Diamond fight, but Blood Diamond doesn't really have great grappling at all. But it's explosive on the feet. The only thing that a little bit worries me, like Gordo said, is we don't really know how Wells is going to be after maybe a round and a half. And also, Semmelsberger has very good straights right down the middle that could probably knock out Wells if he lands on one of those. So other than that, I mean, I think it's going to be Wells by finish or Semmelsberger by decision, but I'm just going to go with Wells inside the distance at 150.
All right, Wells inside the distance +150. Beaver saying unpopular pick, but I got Semmelsberger by decision. Yeah, I've seen a couple people on that. I think it's +300 there. Steven saying Ray Longo to look greasy, -700. There you go. Charles says I got Wells there. Move saying hit the like button. I agree. We get with John with the $10 super sticker. Appreciate you, John. Does mean a lot. Thank you so much, man. We got Victor saying Semmelsberger second or third round KO. There you go. John saying all the stars are here. Yes, sir. Probaholic saying I got an early on Semmelsberger +120. Got that plus money. Best of luck on that. Boston Nick saying why not to take the line straight -115. Yeah, it's not terrible. I personally probably would take that inside the distance, get a little greedy, but if you like Wells, he's at a very playable line. What are the odds on Wells by decision? Wells by decision plus 500, plus 550, it looks like. I don't know. I mean, that would kind of surprise me a little bit, but if he gets his wrestling going, if he can keep it up for 15 minutes, it's possible.
He's been there a couple times.
Yep. Gordo, did you say Wells by? He got the finish only, which means if the fight goes the distance, the bet is voided. If Wells wins inside the distance, the bet hits. And if Semmelsberger wins inside the distance, the bet loses there. We got Monk saying Lasmin Lucindo. It's Yasmin. It's Yasmin. It's an I, Monk. Get it right. Are you kidding me? All right. All right, guys. We'll move on then to the next fight we have. Here it is. I've been practicing all day. You know, people have been coming at me all week, especially our, Steve. So this is for you, Steve. We have Yasmin Lucindo with an I going against Brogan Walker. We have Yasmin Lucindo minus 355, Brogan Walker plus 290. You're welcome, Steve. I got it just for you there. Gordo, what are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, this is another one that I wish I could pass on. But we used my pass already, so we got to take one here. And because we're going to do so, let's get some plus money to catch up to Lou here. Let's go with the fight doesn't go to decision at plus 170 there. I think it's going to be an aggressive Lucindo off the bat. I think she's able to go out there, maybe implement some wrestling, try to look for some ground and pound. And we've seen Walker really struggle in those pressure situations. Same side of things. Brogan Walker, although only one finish on her record, I don't think Lucindo's too sharp on the mat. I think she's got some mistakes, and Walker does have a decent belt there. So who knows what's going to happen. Give me the under, and let's hope for a fun fight.
The under, the fight doesn't go, plus 170. I took a shot on that myself. We'll see what happens. Johnny, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm on the same boat with you a little bit, but I'm just going to say Lucindo wins inside the distance at DraftKings, or on DraftKings. It's at plus 200. I just think Lucindo's better everywhere. Grappling, definitely striking. If you watched the last Yasmin versus Yasmin fight, it was amazing, and she looked great for her debut, and she's still 21. I'm just not that impressed with Walker, and I know she lost to Juliana Miller, but that's not a good look now. And she's just not dangerous anywhere, and Lucindo's dangerous everywhere. So give me Lucindo inside the distance at plus 200.
All right, Lucindo inside the distance plus 200. You're all good, Monk. You're all good. But just know it's Yasmin with an I. Get it right. Great show, guys. Appreciate you, Monk, and welcome back. It was nice to see you on the happy hour yesterday. Kanan saying, who cares about this fight? I'm actually looking forward to this fight. I want to see
Lucindo. That's basically all I want to see in this fight. I want to see how she does.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, actually. Yasmin with an I by Murder. Lucindo finishes Walker with ease, no distance at plus 160 is insane. Appreciate you, Uncle. Like I said, I was working probably an hour and a half trying to get this name down. Somebody came at me hard throughout the week on this pronunciation, so I had to get it right. And I think I definitely redeemed myself today, for what I did this week. Appreciate you, Weezy. Lucindo is a beast. Yeah, I think so. She's still 21 years old, very young. We'll see what happens. Brogan by sub. Lucindo is overrated. Yeah, she could be getting a little bit overrated. We'll see. But man, did Brogan look horrible. She made Juliana Miller look like Amanda Nunes in her last fight, which is why Miller probably was minus 400 last time. Yeah, that was bad. Is Brogan Walker low-key the GOAT? I don't think so. Conan saying I'm betting inside the distance on WMMA fights. Clown, I mean, it hits a lot, and they're always plus money, man. So, I mean, it's worth a shot there. DFS, Yasmin, yes, cashes. Plus 400, the pronunciation cashes. There you go. I like it. Glad I can cash you one there for you. Victor saying, I'm considering Lucindo second or third round TKO plus 700. Yeah, I like that. My personal prediction is... yeah, I think like a second round TKO could definitely be in play there. You're insane if you take Brogan. I think people might be taking Brogan just due to the fact that we've seen a lot of WMMA favorites drop the ball lately. And, Lucindo is 21 years old. So, I mean, it really wouldn't shock me if she shit the bed. I mean, these spots have burnt me in the past quite a bit, but we'll see.
Yeah. Even if she makes a couple mistakes, though, I think she's good enough to, not get in trouble with Walker. Because, like I said, I don't think Walker is just dangerous at all anywhere. Even grappling, and she's known to be a grappler.
Yeah, and I think with Lucindo, she's aggressive. And I think that aggressiveness is definitely going to win her minutes here, where Brogan's just not aggressive at all.
Yeah.
Brady's going to name his daughter Brogan. I doubt that. I definitely doubt that. Lucindo KO3 is plus 1,400.
I like that.
Not bad.
Taking Brogan because of the weight class issue. What's the weight class issue? Lucindo's fought at 125 before, but she did make her debut at 115, I believe.
Yeah.
Lucindo is Portuguese for lost money. Look it up. Is that? I don't know if that's true or not. If so, that's terrifying, Buffo. If so, that's terrifying. I have Lucindo by KO plus 350. Walker is not UFC level. She did not look UFC level in her last fight, but I'm sure she can't look any worse than she did against Juliana Miller. But we can move on from the Yasmin Lucindo fight. We have Bobby Green going against Jared Gordon. We got Bobby Green minus 262. We got Jared Gordon plus 222. We'll start with you, Johnny. What do you like for this fight here?
I'm all over Bobby Green. I think this is a perfect matchup for him. I think on the feet, he's going to be leaps and bounds better than Gordon. And if Gordon tries to go for the wrestling, Bobby Green has a wrestling background. He's got pretty good takedown defense and wrestling himself, but he just doesn't really use it too much. So I'm going to say Green wins this one by decision, though. Gordon's pretty tough, and I know he's been knocked out 4 times in his losses, but it's been a while. And he took some good shots in the Patty fight, too. So, and Green, like I said, he's just not known to be a knockout guy. So he's just a volume guy. He's just going to showboat a little bit, which he probably will in the second and third round, because I think that's what's going to he's just going to shine Gordon in this fight. So give me Bobby Green by decision. I think it's at plus 100.
Yep, I'll give you plus 115 there for that Green by decision.
Love it.
And that is on, I believe, Bet365. Yep. Gordo, what are you liking for this fight here?
Completely echo those sentiments there. I'm on Green by decision as well. He's not a potent finisher. I don't think he has that same power to finish someone like Jared Gordon, and I think it's going to go to decision. I think even that, it could be a dicey one, but I do think he gets it done. His volume is going to get him back in the winning track here. Flip side of things, don't think Gordon has the power to recreate whatever Judober did. Give me Green by decision.
Green by decision, plus 3, 115. Both guys on the Green by decision. Money saying Bobby Green. Jay saying Brogan striking his ass. There you go. Goulash saying cash money, Bobby Green. Jared Gordon decision is live, good plus money. The only reason I'd say is live is because of the corrupt judges, the blind judges. Like if this fight goes the distance, Bobby Green cleanly wins the fight. I mean, maybe the corrupt judges could get it wrong. That's definitely on the table. Would be my only concern. Fight goes the distance, safest play. Boston Nick saying Gordon's somewhat a friend of mine, but Green should be able to beat him just about everywhere. Same sentiments there. I think he has him covered everywhere there. I don't think Gordon's striking is good enough here. I don't think it is as well. The shots Green hit Dober with KO Gordon for sure. I've got Green by KO all day. Victor saying Green round 3 KO plus 1,500. I'm going to take a stab at that for sure. Yeah, that's juicy, man. I think Bobby is out for blood after getting KO'd, but I could see a decision too at plus 300. I'm loving the Green KO. Yeah, it could be worth a shot, man. I think he's going to hit Gordon in the face a lot in this fight. Jan saying I have a bet build here. Green to win more significant strikes and have over 1 or 0.5 knockdowns plus 350. Yeah, probably the only thing you have to worry about there is that knockdown. If you get that, I think it hits.
Yep.
Yeah, he said he's going to change his name to Just King after this fight. So we'll see if he holds up to that.
Isn't there a Bobby King in Bellator or something? Or another promotion? I could be wrong.
There might be.
I think there is.
I'll look it up.
It sounds very familiar, but he's not even going to go Bobby King. He's just going to go King, I think. Like no first name.
Oh, no.
Name,
Okay.
Just
gotcha.
King, which is very, very interesting there.
Yeah, Bobby King is in Bellator.
Yeah, it sounded very familiar. Only way Walker wins if she gets Lucindo flat, and Walker is a BJJ black belt to Lucindo's purple belt. Yeah, she's a black belt, but she said it herself that she's a striker. She's not a grappler. I think she has maybe 1 sub in her career. Bobby King is actually fighting tonight, apparently. I did not look at the
Maybe
card.
that's why I thought
there you go.
Didn't even know.
That's very interesting there. All right, we will move on then to the next fight. We have Bruno Silva going against Brad Tavares. We have Brad Tavares minus 159, Bruno Silva minus 139. We'll start with you, Johnny. What are you liking for this fight here?
So with my pick, I ended up going with Silva, and I'm going to say that last performance against GM3. Once GM3 gets in the third round, like he's going to win no matter what. So I'm going to give him a pass on that, but I'm going to actually use my pass on this fight because I do think Tavares should win, but I think Silva's going to win this fight. I don't know how, if it's going to be by knockout or decision, but the safest pick is probably Tavares, but I just think Silva's going to win somehow, whether it's by knockouts. But I'm going to pass ultimately, though, on this one.
All right, Johnny with the pass on the Silva-Tavares fight. Johnny, you have no passes left, and neither do you, Gordo. So, Gordo, what do you like on this fight here?
Yeah, I gotta pick a side, don't I? And yeah, I echo a lot of the sentiments as well. Like it's one that you could see a multitude of different outcomes, but I think the most likely one, in my opinion, is Brad Tavares by decision, and that's what I'm going with, plus 200. It's like my favorite thing to remember is that Silva survived against Pereira, and yet he got knocked out by GM3 pretty much, which is hilarious. But point being is, this is a fighter where Brad Tavares isn't much of a finisher. Like this guy's a guy who's out there going out to point strike, and I do think he has better paths to victory to go out there and win a decision against Silva. And I'm not saying it's out of the woods that Silva is able to find that knockout. I'm just saying the most likely outcome to me is that decision for Tavares.
I agree.
Yep, makes sense. Buffalo saying Bruno Silva point spread at plus 3.5 minus 160. Yeah, I think it hits. I think that hits there. Silva is going for that bonus check tonight. Yeah, I think he will be trying for that. Is this a must win for Silva? Something to think about. Yeah, I think he's on a 2-fight scale. Lost to GM3, lost to Pereira. So yeah, he'd definitely like to win this one. Forgive Bruno for that GM3 loss. He's going to win today. Yeah, I think he'll make a much better account of himself. In that
I forgive him.
Yeah, he looked off. He looked very off.
It was awful though. I bet him, but I'll forgive him.
Man, he was a massive favorite, I think, against Jarrell Mearshart. Went out there and it looked, I don't know, he looked really bad. So, but he's never looked like that before. He's never looked like that before in his career. So we'll see. We'll see how he looks.
He usually has pretty good cardio, because a lot of times too, he was losing rounds 1 and 2 in fights, and then he would just come back and get the knockout in the 3rd round when the other guy gasses.
Yeah,
So it was just a weird fight.
It's a very weird fight. If Bruno loses tonight, is he a bum? It all depends how he loses. Like, does he lose a competitive decision? No, I wouldn't say he's a bum. Does he get knocked out by Tavares? Then yeah, he's probably a bum if he does get knocked out there. We'll see. All depends on how he loses if he does. Card seems chalky. Who's gonna crap in that pie? There's a couple guys that can, and ladies that can. I think somebody's going to get crapped in on tonight. This is kind of a sketchy card overall, I'd say.
Yeah.
But let us move on to this main event. We got Curtis Blaydes going against Sergei Pavlovich. Interesting. We have money coming in on Sergei. We have now plus 120 on Sergei Pavlovich, and we have minus 140 on Curtis Blaydes. It looks like just recently Curtis Blaydes went from like minus 160 to minus 155 to now minus 140. So late money coming in on Sergei Pavlovich. I did see a video on Twitter. Sergei Pavlovich, like an hour or two ago, was playing slots at the slot machine in Vegas. So I think that's maybe why money's coming in on Sergei. I don't know. But yeah, money's coming in on Sergei as we speak. Gordo, what do you like for this fight here?
Such a fun matchup. And I wish I could come out here and say with conviction that I had a side that I believe was going to win this fight. But the truth is I don't. And I think that there is a multitude of options that could happen. I think that nothing is certain. And a large majority of the time, if something's going to happen, you could probably be like, yeah, I expected that, right? Like if Blaydes goes out there, wrestle F's Pavlovich, you'd be like, yeah, I expected that to happen. I'm not surprised. And if Pavlovich goes out there and knocks out Blaydes in the first 10 seconds, you'll be like, oh yeah, expected that too. Like these things are just like, it seems like there's such a binary matchup here. And I got to go with the one that pays more. I got to go with the one that is going to help me catch Lou. I'm taking Pavlovich to win in round 1, plus 330 right now. To me, it's his win condition. To me, it's one that I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. At the same time, if I go out there and I see Blaydes wrestle him and I look like an idiot, wouldn't be surprised like that either. I'm very close in this fight. I'm very torn. However, Pavlovich round 1 is going to be the best bet.
Yep, nothing wrong with that. I think that's how he wins. Johnny, which way are you attacking this fight?
I'm doing the exact same thing as Gordo. Round 1 knockout for Sergei. I think that, I don't want to say it's the most likely outcome, but in my brain, like I went through it like 100 times. I see him doing that more so than like Blaydes trying to shoot for takedowns or even attempt to strike with him and then maybe eventually get the knock or like ground and pound knockout and later in the first round or second round. So would I be surprised? No, because that's either one of these guys are going to win. It's going to be by knockout, whether it's on the ground, whether it's on the feet, it doesn't matter. So unders are great for parlay pieces. If anybody wants some parlay pieces, like any under, even under 1.5, I think it's a great bet. So, well, give me Sergei round 1 knockout just to try to catch up to Lou, like Gordo.
Do you want round 1 like Gordo, or do you want to add the round 1 knockout? Which round 1, like Gordo said, is plus.
Oh, okay, the knockout, yeah.
And then the knockout, adding the knockout would bring that to plus 360. So you're getting a little bit more extra.
I'll do the knockout because he ain't gonna get sub.
Yeah,
I'll do that as well if I can. Actually, I'll take the few points.
Okay, I got you. I will change that right here. So Pavlovich KO 1. What did I say? Plus 360, right? And then Pavlovich KO1. All right. So both guys taking that Pavlovich KO1. I think it's a good shot. I think that's how the dude literally wins. All right. Do you want to answer some questions in the chat, and then we will get to our final or our best bet of the card. Let's see where I left off here. Tavares getting no respect. I don't know, man. He's the favorite, so I think he's getting some respect.
There's a lot of people picking Tavares. There's not too many picking Silva, but I think he's not. No one's like crapping on him or anything.
Not that I heard of, but he's the fave there. Pavlovich going to put Blaydes' lights out. Hey, it's on the table, man. Curtis coma Blaydes. I mean, he could go in a coma if he gets hit by Pavlovich. That Pavlovich dude is a scary, scary man. Pavlovich by KO with the first punch he throws. Bruno Silva by KO there. Can you see Pavlovich winning in round 3 or round 4? Blaydes might gas out wrestling heavy. That would kind of surprise me, to be honest. I think if he does win, it's round 1. Any thoughts on that, guys?
I don't think
we've never really
round 3 or 4.
Yeah, we've never seen Pavlovich extended really. So what kind of data do we have to present that he's not going to gas himself after the first couple rounds?
Yeah, that would be a shock to me. Dixon saying, can I bet the mortgage and kids college fund on the under 3.5 in the main event? I would never do that on anything, but I think it does hit. But it's
Since it's not my money, yes.
It's minus 625.
But don't do that, though. Don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that.
It's minus 625, so you're not really getting anything there. Like my love life, Sergei finishing early. My goodness, Bosco. We will see about that. Patrick saying Blaydes 2 or 3 KO at plus 430. Like you can parlay those together maybe on FanDuel. That's a really good way to play Blaydes.
I like round 2 for Blaydes. If Blaydes can get the wrestling going early and he might not get it in the first round, but I think he can get it in the second round, whether it's on the feet or whether it's the ground and pound.
Yeah, I like that, Patrick. Especially rather than laying that chalk on Blaydes, I think that's how he wins round 2 KO. Personally, fight to end in KO is my best bet here. Yeah, I saw on FanDuel it's like minus 500. A Blaydes decision or Pavlovich catches him late. I kind of think it's Pavlovich early or Blaydes early, to be honest. I think this fight ends pretty early. Pavlovich KO round 1 plus 410. Yeah, I got on that as well. Under 2.5 in the fight end by KO as a parlay piece. I love all of that.
Yep.
If Pavlovich wins under 60 seconds again, does he jump Stipe? I don't know. I'd be curious to see what happens with Pavlovich if he does pull this off. But we have to see. I mean, this fight's going to happen tonight. Blaydes should go out there and win this fight, but Pavlovich is a scary, scary man. It would not shock me one way or another who wins this one tonight. We'll see. Most confident parlay. I like Green as a parlay piece and like maybe the under 2.5 or under 3.5 as a parlay piece. Any thoughts for you guys?
Over 2.5 for Dumont and Rosa is a good parlay piece. Trying to think. The Cachoeira fight really messed me up. I like 2 of those bets, and under 2.5 in that fight was fantastic. But trying to think. Let me look at my bets.
Gordo, any parlay pieces?
Yeah, not too many. Like of course, the under the main event's the one I'm going with as well. I think I have a small parlay on Lucindo as well, which is probably never a good idea, but I did it anyways.
Yeah, I got Lucindo in some parlays too.
Yeah, same. We'll see if that's a good idea. Guru saying, such handsome, distinguished gentlemen. Best of luck, boys. You talking about us or you talking about Priscilla Cachoeira? I don't know. Both are very handsome. We got You Can't Be Sneery saying under 3.5 is a lock. Someone finds a way out before then. Yeah, I think it does end a lot earlier than 3.5 even. If this 9-legger for 700, Brady, any set of rims you want, I got you. Appreciate that, Tricky. I don't know if I need rims, but we'll see. I like the fight starts round 2. That'll be a serious sweat, but I think that might be no. It's not even plus money.
It's not.
I would need some plus money for that. It's a minus 120. It looks like.
I'm not sweating for 5 minutes for not plus money. Sorry.
That'll be a sweat. Blaydes could sub. I feel like
he's never had a sub, right? He's never had a sub.
I don't think he's ever had a sub. Maybe Pavlovich taps the strikes. I mean, that can maybe happen. I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna go out there and choke him out or nothing like that. Chronic combat conversation, boys. Played the fight starts. Doesn't start round 3 minus 225. I like that line. Did Brady just say I like to fart? I don't think so. Did I say that? I don't think so.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, maybe a little slip up.
I think I said I like the fights to start. Fart. I don't like the fart.
I think you said fight to fart or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know if there are going to be any farting tonight. We'll see. And then Serial saying fight ends under 59 seconds is possible on the main. It's very possible.
What's the under a half a round in this fight?
I think it was I forget the exact line, but you could like parlay Pavlovich with like the under half of a round for like, I don't know, I forget what it was, but something juicy. I think that would be interesting. Or like
Be something to
Pavlovich,
think about.
yeah, 60 seconds or something. We'll see. But all right, guys, what we're going to do next is we are going to go over our bets for the card. And then at the end, you guys are going to give me your best bet. So for the best bet, whatever you hit, if you hit the bet, your profit's going to double. So for example, Gordo, if you say your best bet is the Carol Rosa money line, you hit it, that's a unit, double it, that's 2 units for that. For example, I had the Curtis and Gastelum fight to end by split decision, like plus, I think it was plus 450, and then made that my best bet. I was so close to making 9 units on that, but did not get a split there. But Gordo, you're taking Dena Bakary money line to kick off the card minus 140. You're taking the Francis Marshall money line minus 175. You're taking the Taffa fight goes to decision plus 260. You're taking the Carol Rosa money line plus 100. The Jackson fight doesn't go to decision minus 200. You're passing on the Glenn fight. You are taking Wells finish only minus 165. You're taking Lucindo fight doesn't go decision plus 170. Green decision plus 115. Tavares decision plus 200. And then Pavlovich KO1 plus 360. Is all that correct? And if so, what is your best bet of the card?
All of that is correct. And I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. And we're going with Marshall money line as my best bet. Love this kid. Could heartbreak me if it doesn't go my way. But I do think it gets it done. And it's my favorite one on the card.
I'm sorry. What was it again?
Marshall money line.
Marshall money line at minus 175. I'm going to mark that. Charles saying when Brady skips my comments, Charles, I'm running a show. I'm moderating the chat. Typing all the info in. I'm talking to the chat. I have so much to do. I cannot get to everybody, but I believe you were asking what book is offering under 3.5 rounds. The line is 2.5 everywhere. Lots of books. Bovada, DraftKings, FanDuel.
365.
Bet365, pretty much every single book outside of Bet Online is the one where I'd say it doesn't have that, but a lot of books have it, Charles. But yeah, we'll get to you, Johnny. We have Dena Bakary KO to kick off the card for Johnny here. It's taking Marshall round 3 or decision plus 120. Taffa by KO plus 130. Dumont fight to end it by split decision plus 350. You're taking the fight starts round 3 in the Montel Jackson fight plus 120. You're taking Glenn to win in round 3 or decision plus 130. You're taking Wells inside the distance plus 150. You're taking Lucindo inside the distance plus 200. You're taking Green decision plus 115. You're passing on the Tavares Silva fight. And then you're taking Pavlovich round 1 knockout plus 360. Is all that correct? And if so, what is your best bet of the card?
That is all correct. And I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go with Pavlovich round 1 knockout at plus 360. Let's double that up. And I'm gonna try to catch up to Lou at least a little bit.
There you go. There you go. I like it. All right.
I'm gonna know real quick if that's right or wrong. So
yes, we will know. We will know very quick. FanDuel should have it, right? FanDuel has the alternate.
I would think so. Rounds. I don't use it too often, but they do stuff like the alternate over and unders.
You know what? Maybe they have the fight won't start round 3 instead. So like the fight won't start round 3, fight won't start round 4. So maybe they don't have the alternates. But I know for a fact DraftKings does and Bet365. All right. You know, I got you, Charles. I got you, Charles Barkley. Big fan. Big basketball fan, Charles. So, all right, guys. All that's left is I'm going to kick it around. We'll start with you, Johnny. Let the people know where they can find you and what you typically have going on for some content on an MMA week.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show again. As always, Gordo, pleasure meeting you for finally. So you can catch my breakdowns at Johnny K Picks on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, obviously. And on Thursday nights, me and Cody from Blood Money MMA Bets, we do our live shows on that as well. So definitely check me out and follow me and subscribe.
Yes, sir. Go check him out. Blood Money will be on, I believe, next week. So can't wait for that show. We got Gordo. Gordo, let the people know where they can find you and what you got going on for some content. Are you taking a week off or so for college, or are you going to keep pumping up the content?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for hosting this. Make sure to hit the like button down below for Brady. Much love for on the show. Yeah, I think I've done my tape research for next week, so I'll do next week, but I will be taking a week off for the pay-per-view after that. I'm moving down to the States, Canadian boy, taking on the States. We'll see what happens.
There you go.
But yeah, so I'll take a week off there, but you can find all my stuff at Plays and Fade Sports on YouTube or Gambles Gordo on Twitter. You can check me out, ask me any questions there. Wish everybody the best of luck in all your betting endeavors. Let's make some money, guys.
Sounds good. And you can follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers. Instagram is DFS by the numbers. Yeah, guys, like, subscribe. We go live every Saturday for some best bet. We got some catching up to do with Lou. Lou's like 34 units on the year. So it's going to be fun catching him, though. I think we can do it. But yeah, other than that, one last thing. Let's go, Yasmin, Lucindo. Let's get it done, Yasmin. Let's go out there and let's beat Brogan Walker. Best of luck, everybody. We'll talk to you soon and see ya.